BBN, Jack Frost. Good morning, everybody. So it's kind of weird the way they got the setup today. Not for nothing. Anyway, so first thing I want to get into was the Curry Lonzo Ball thing. I want to talk about that. But the first thing that I want to get into is the NFL protest, because something came to light the other day. The NFL and the NFLPA, that's the NFL Players Association, actually had a meeting. And if anybody doesn't recall, they were trying to get into a meeting with Colin Kaepernick for quite some time now. Good morning, how you doing there? When you come in, say, all right, yeah, sorry about that. I'm having some kind of problems over here. I be thinking funny shit is happening, so I be thinking they trying to like block my signal and all types of stupid shit. But all right, so basically, the NFL have been trying to have a dialogue. The NFL, not the Players Association, NFL have been extending an invitation to Colin Kaepernick for quite some time now because they wanted to have a dialogue with him. Well, anyway, it turns out that the NFL and the NFLPA, NFL Players Association, they have come to an agreement where there will be $100 million put to the side to fight civil injustice. I think that's what the wording was. The wording is very, very important because I want this to be understood. I don't think they're opening up community centers. I don't think they're trying to create job opportunity. That's not what they're doing. What they're doing is that they're going to put $100 million of NFL money behind fighting social injustice. That's what that's how they're gonna attempt to try to get the players to stop kneeling. And if y'all remember, about a month ago on a different video that I did, I actually said that was what that they need to do. That the only way to really get the players to stop kneeling is to extend some of the NFL's vast resources to help the problem, because the issue isn't they're trying to. When I say they, I mean one, the racists, and two, the people who just don't know any better. Because not everybody that's against the players kneeling is racist. That's foolish to say that. Some people just don't know any better, and they don't think that there's a problem with they don't think the police killing unarmed minorities and people of color, and then not getting held responsible is a problem. They don't think that's an issue because they always talk about this black on black crime thing. But when a black person kills another black person, they go to jail. If the police was killing black people and then going to jail, this wouldn't be an issue. That's my point. They're not saying, oh, the police are killing black people, we're upset. They're saying the police are killing black people and then they're not being held accountable. And that's what the problem is. So you're always going to have people murking up the waters. It is what it is. It's up to us, and it's up to anybody who cares to stay focused. That's a very, very important. Stay focused. But basically, all of the stuff that I said about 2 months ago is coming into fruition. The NFL has decided that they're going to put $100 million towards helping or fighting civil injustices in America. So they're hoping that that's going to get the players to stop kneeling, because you got to understand the NFL is losing more than $100 million. They're losing billions of dollars at this point, and not just because of the whole kneeling players thing. I'm saying ratings are really down with the NFL, and you have to understand when the ratings go down for regular season games, that makes the ratings go down for playoff games. Now the ratings are down for playoff games and regular season games. That means that the biggest event of the year on TV, the Super Bowl, now can't sell freaking ad space for the same amount of price, for the same price. You understand? So that's billions of dollars that the NFL is potentially losing by, not attempting to, extend their services. First of all, they should have did it sooner. I mean, when you take into consideration that like 90% of the people that you employ, 85 to 90% of the people that you employ are people of color. And them being people of color, they have a dog in this fight. You should have been a little bit more understanding. I'm not trying to say that this is what they should have did off the rip, I understand that, you got to hedge your bets. But they should have just been more understanding. And this is just my opinion. But as y'all seen with other people that follow this channel, a lot of times the things that I say that are my opinion and the things that I say that, should be how, the way that I think things are going to go, I've been right a number of times. I've probably been wrong here and there, but I've been right more than I've been wrong. Anyway, let's get to this Lonzo Ball, Steph Curry situation. So, Lonzo Ball and Steph Curry played each other last night. Lonzo Ball has the same issue I've always said that he has. I said he was going to have ever since he came into the league. And it has to deal with his jump shot. It has to deal with that he's slight. He's a little guy. When I say little guy, I don't mean short. When I say little guy, I mean he's not very strong. He's not very physically strong. For everybody that don't remember, the first time the Lakers tried him out, they were unhappy with Lonzo Ball. They were not going to draft him. Lonzo Ball had to have a second tryout with the Lakers when his father was invited, because at the first tryout, his father was not invited. At the second tryout with the Lakers, his father was invited. When his father was invited, Lonzo did much better because, let's just be honest, his father's a bully. And his father bullies his children. And because his father bullies his children, when his father's there bullying him, he just produces better. That's just what it is. He's used to that bullying happening to him. The problem with this is there's tons of bullies in professional sports. And the bullies that are in professional sports are now bullying Lonzo Ball, and he doesn't have that fight mentality. His whole mentality is flight. And you can see that when the Lakers got into that little skirmish, and Lonzo Ball didn't even make an attempt, like he was going to pretend to get involved and have his teammates back. He immediately turned and walked the other way. And that's because, as far as a fight and flight mentality, Lonzo Ball's mentality is flight. Lonzo Ball is going to run every single time. He's going to avoid confrontation every single time because it's not in him. Now, the reason why him playing Curry, he had a much better game, is because Curry isn't a physically opposing player. So since Curry isn't physically opposing, you don't have to worry about Curry pushing Lonzo around. You don't have to worry about Curry bullying Lonzo physically. Lonzo isn't physically scared of Curry. These are not things that you have to concern yourself with. So that's why when Lonzo got open for the open jump shots, Lonzo was able to knock these jump shots down because he felt comfortable. There wasn't fear in his heart. When Lonzo goes up against people like freaking, and he's not even going to be able to play against Beverly no more because Beverly's done for the year. But when Lonzo goes up against players like Beverly, his fear in his heart, you understand? In his heart is fear. So he can't shoot. When he goes up against these John Walls of the world, he's fearful. Like, these guys are not just physically imposing, but these guys are not just verbally assaulting him, but they're physically pushing Lonzo Ball around. Good morning, Hillary. How you doing this morning? Always love to have you. These guys are pushing Lonzo around. You understand? They're physically assaulting him, inside of the confines of the rules. Don't get it confused. But they're physically assaulting Lonzo Ball, and that's inhibiting him from being able to have the confidence that he needs to shoot that ugly-ass jump shot. That's one of the reasons why Lonzo Ball can't shoot a jump shot. If you watch a lot of the Lonzo Ball games, he misses easy layups. The reason why Lonzo Ball misses easy layups is the same reason that he's not hitting jump shots. He's scared. Okay? It's the same thing like when you go to the park and you're playing at the park and you got that one guy that you know is nice, but in order to prevent him from playing well, you're constantly saying stuff to him like, you ain't shit, or you trash, or, you know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to get into his head. When you get to a higher level, like the pro level, this kind of conversation isn't supposed to affect the higher upper echelon players. The upper echelon players hear things like this and they focus in harder. Like, I go to the courts. I'm not trying to say I'm nowhere near the NBA. This is not, I'm not trying to make that, but I'm just saying, I go to the park and somebody starts talking about I'm trash, or somebody starts saying something negative to me, that causes for me to focus. I'm not trying to prove him wrong. I'm trying to get him off the court. So, I'm not trying to be like, oh man, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm thinking, you know what? I want you to watch next game. So that makes me focus. But that's like from the era that I'm from. Lonzo Ball, he doesn't have that in him. So when Lonzo Ball played against Curry, he had a pretty decent game. Yeah, Lonzo Ball had a pretty decent game. I mean, he didn't have a jaw-dropping game, but I think when Lonzo Ball and Curry were matched up against each other, I think Curry had 8 points and Lonzo Ball had 10. I'm not sure if that's in the first half or the entirety of the game, but it was something like that. Lonzo Ball played well against Curry because Curry doesn't scare Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball isn't fearful. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you put almost any other point guard in the league on him that, chats a little, Lonzo Ball is going to digress. He's not going to be as an imposing player. He's not going to be an opposing player at all. He's just too passive. One of the main things that you need to be in the NBA is you need to be, and like even the guys who aren't alpha males in the NBA, they're alpha males. You understand? Lonzo Ball is not an alpha male at all. He does not lead the way. He's a follower. His father made him that way. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I try to look decent. Lonzo Ball is not an alpha male. He is. My tie needs a little straightening though. I ain't gonna lie. I was late this morning. Lonzo Ball is not an alpha male at all. He's a follower. He needs to be led. That's why his father had to show up for the second tryouts with the Lakers, because Lonzo Ball needs to be led. He's not a follow. I mean, he's not a leader at all. He's not an alpha male. There's no I'm gonna step up and take charge in him. It just isn't there. You understand? Like, look at Lonzo Ball's plays that he make, even the good ones. They're usually passive plays. When he's being assertive and aggressive, he's usually failing at those plays. Those are the plays that he's taking a guy to the hole and he'll make 1 out of every 3 layup attempts or 1 out of every 4 layup attempts. That's what those are. Lonzo Ball just isn't built for this. He's gonna be a serviceable pro, but he's not gonna be anything like he should be, or I'm not gonna say like he should be, because I think he has limited skill set, to be honest with you. But he's not gonna be anything like it was prognosticated by the millions of fans out there that swore that Lonzo Ball was going to be the next coming of Jason Kidd. He is not. He's not the next coming of Jason Kidd. I think that all of those people hurt Lonzo Ball because he's not the type of guy that needs the limelight. He's one of those guys that if he gets a guy on his team that likes to chirp, Lonzo Ball is going to excel. So, just my opinion, if the Lakers, because they got a strong team. They got Clarkson, he's nice. They got Kyle Kuzma, he's nice. They got Lonzo Ball. They have a tradable piece in Randall's pretty decent also. Randall's pretty good, but he's a tradable piece. They have Brook Lopez if they want to keep Lopez. Brook Lopez is he's a good center, but he's also a tradable piece. So the Lakers have a pretty decent young team. And if they want to improve, they have pieces that they could trade and get somebody to improve. Now, this is just me saying this, but if they get a guy on their team, like I forget dude that's on Miami Heat right now, that he used to be on the Cleveland Cavaliers. But if they go get him, somebody that he wants to score all the points, and you put him on Lonzo Ball's team, and he's a chirper, he talks, and he could get some of that negative direction, that negative energies from the other team directed at him rather than at Lonzo Ball, that'll allow Lonzo Ball to just play better, because Lonzo Ball does not have that confidence that you need. And I know a lot of people think that he has quiet confidence, but he doesn't. And the other NBA players know it. And that's why the other NBA players are not saying anything negative about Lonzo Ball. If you really look at it, I'm not talking about the Patrick Beverleys of the world. I'm talking about the other, Stephen Curry ain't saying nothing bad about him. Kevin Durant isn't saying anything bad about him. A lot of these guys are actually saying complimentary things to him to try to pick him up and to try to boost his confidence, because you know, at the end of the day, there's a collective bargaining agreement, and the better everybody does, the better everybody does. You get it? But also, they also understand that Lonzo Ball isn't like his father. His father's a different breed. Lonzo Ball is just a different guy. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it short today. I gotta get out of here. I'm just gonna do a quick wrap up. Yes, the NFLPA. You could go back to the beginning of the video. I spoke about how the NFLPA and the NFL have come to an agreement with the players where they're gonna take $100 million. The NFL was gonna invest $100 million in fighting social injustice. If y'all go back, y'all can look in some of my videos that I've already put up, Colin Kaepernick videos. Yo, what up, Terry? Y'all can look at some of my Colin Kaepernick videos, and in some of my Colin Kaepernick videos, I even stated that what the NFL needed to do was, in order to satisfy the players, they need to start putting money towards, you know, fighting some of the social injustice out there, especially the stuff against the... What's up, Chatty? How you doing this morning? How y'all always coming? And you know what it is? I'm starting to think y'all know that I get off at a certain time, so y'all like, yo, we're just gonna go say hi right at the end. You know, I'm fucking with y'all, right? So they said that they were gonna put up some social injustice. I think that monies need to go towards private invest. This is just me. This is me talking. I think that the monies that they're putting up need to, when police officers go and there's a killing that happens, and the killing of the anyone, not just colored minority. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying even when a white person is killed by a police officer, because if you just only do it for the minorities, then that's racist. So even when a white person is killed by a police officer, some of that money should be used towards an investigation. Some of that money should be used towards finding out the facts. And then after the facts is found out, then some of that money should be used for prosecution. This is what they need to do. Because if they only do it for black and colored people, then they're wrong. It has to be for all injustices done by the police against every color. I know what the black people are saying, oh man, this guy's a coon, or some kind of weird shit like that. But no, you gotta understand, if it's only done for when people of color are murdered and killed by the police, then that's racist. And you can't fight racism with racism. That's not gonna work. You understand what I'm saying? The only way to fight the whole entire thing is by making the fight for everybody. Good morning, how you doing today? Excellent. The only way that you can fight such things is by making it everyone's fight. If you make it one person's fight, or even 2 or 3 people's fight, it's not gonna get any kind of headway. It has to be a fight for everybody. Everybody needs to fight this, because believe me, as much as people like saying the police is this towards colored people and they let white people do whatever they want, I'm letting you know right now, from a man that lived in about 4 or 5 different, I lived in Tennessee, I lived in Georgia, I lived in Massachusetts, I lived in Virginia, I lived in New Jersey, I live in New York. I could probably go a little bit further. And for a man that has lived in a couple of different places, I can tell you, I don't care what color your skin is. If the police want to do you dirty, they're going to do you dirty. And that's just what it is. So this monies need to be put towards all people, not just people of color, but also white people, in order to fight all social injustice. Thank you, Chatty. I appreciate it. But you got to understand, Chatty says, I wish everybody had the common sense you have. And before that, she says, true, wise men is, she called me a wise man. But you got to understand, the way in which I perceive information is, I'm unselfish. I'm not just thinking about myself. And see, that's how most people think. They think about how they're going to benefit. That, oh man, I'm happy that happened because that tax break is going to benefit me. People don't think, oh man, we getting all of these tax breaks. That means that our teachers aren't going to be getting any raises that they rightfully deserve. That means that our police officers, especially the ones that are doing their jobs correctly, aren't going to get any raises what they rightfully deserve. That means that there's tons of inner city programs that were funded by the government that are now not going to get funded by the government. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand you don't want tax breaks. What you want is equal percentage of taxes being paid by the rich as it is by the people who are middle class and lower. That's the problem. The problem is the percentages that's being paid. It's not we need to have tax breaks. It's just that if a person who is rich pays 1% towards taxes, that's probably going to be a couple $100,000 for them, or maybe a million or two for them, right? But a person who's middle class is paying 15% of their earnings towards taxes. That's not fair. That's where the problem exists at. The problem doesn't exist with we're going to cut taxes for everyone. The problem exists where we need to make taxes paid evenly and dependent on what your income is as far as the percentages. You understand what I'm saying? There's no way in the world that somebody that's making $30,000 a year should be paying $5,000-$6,000 in taxes, like through the out of your check every year, $5,000-$8,000 in taxes out of your year, and then out of every year. But just let's say 5,000, right? 5,000 at 30. What's that? Shit, that's a lot. That's a high percentage. And then you got somebody who's making freaking $10 million a year. I'm not saying worth $10 million. They might be worth like $60 million, but they're making like $10 million a year, and they're paying $1.5 million in taxes. That's not equal. That's not even. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna say, oh yeah, but you're only paying $5. Yeah, because you're only paying $5,000, but this person is paying you're just being greedy. No, that's not being greedy. That's such a small percentage of their annual income. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the problem is, and that's what the Republicans want to cut taxes. The Democrats want to take our tax money and spend it on shit they're not supposed to be spending it on. The Democrats are stealing the money, and the Republicans are trying not to pay any money. It's crazy, all right? That's just what it is, all right? That's just literally what it is. Anybody that's in the politics, know anything about anything that's going on, the Democrats are stealing our money. They're stealing the tax money all types of different ways from different programs in which they have and set up here and there all over the place. And the Republicans are trying to figure out ways to cut taxes everywhere because they're getting big pharma money and monies from the alcohol and the firearms and all these other agencies and corporations and companies, which is financing, is putting money into their pocket. So they're not really stealing our tax money as much as they're trying to lower taxes as much as possible so these other corporations and companies don't have to pay taxes and they can put some of that money into their own pocket. This is what's actually happening, y'all. I'm totally off topic. Like the train is off the track at this point. I'm late as usual, but I love y'all, and y'all came in here late, and I didn't wanna just bounce. Chatty says we pay like $20,000, which is too much for a small business, but we chalk it up because it goes to the roads and old and less fortunate. Exactly, that's my point. For a small business, $20,000 a year, that's way too much. But then you have a big business and like a big giant company, and then they'll pay like 2% of their annual income towards taxes. And then they're still trying to lower taxes. So then in order for the little man to get a lower tax to pay, in order for middle class and lower to pay, thank you, Hillary. I'm about to be out, just give me one sec. You have a great day also. And in order for the little man, the middle class, to get lower taxes, that means that they're going to lower the taxes of the people who already are not paying enough taxes. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what's happening, and that's the issue. So that's why whenever you hear these people talk about our taxes are too high, understand it's not that our taxes are too high, which for the middle class and lower income they are. The problem is that the people who are making the most money is paying the least percentage of income of their income, annual income, towards taxes in a year. That's the issue. That's the whole issue. Period. Anyway, look, I gotta go. I love y'all. And you know what today is gonna be? Today's gonna be a cool day. Today is gonna be call your parents today. We're gonna call our parent today. Talk to our parent 5-10 minutes about whatever our parent want to talk about, and let them know that we love them. That's what today's going to be. And for everybody who don't no longer have their parents with them, I want to apologize for bringing this up. But instead, you're going to spend some time with your children, or whoever is your surrogate parent. And we're gonna spend some time with our parents today, and we're gonna let them know how much we care about them, and we're gonna thank them for all of the times that they did all that effed up stuff to us that we thought was terrible, but it turned us into the great human beings that we are today. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make our parents feel more confident about the parenting that they did in us. Anyway, I gotta go. I love y'all. Remember, if you hear gunfire, get down. Do not run in circles like a chicken with your head cut off. You might be running towards the person firing, or you might be running into the line of fire. So get down, survey the scene. If you can see the individual that's actually shooting and you can't get up and leave, do so. If you can't, stay there and wait. How you doing today, Ebony? If you can't, stay there, wait for assistance to come. I love y'all. Have a great day. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out.